Next on KROQ, Loveline.
106.7 KROQ FM in HD Pasadena, Los Angeles, Orange County. This is the world famous KROQ.
Oh my God!
How do you want me to say it?
Next on KROQ, Loveline. Loveline.
Call 833-LOVE-191.
KROQ's Loveline shows.
Next on KROQ, Loveline. Loveline.
Call Loveline.
833-LOVE-191.
KROQ Radio is involved. Loveline.
Loveline. KROQ, the radio station that promoted
Loveline.
Welcome to Loveline. Loveline is meant for an adult audience. Loveline may contain sexually oriented content. Listener discretion is advised.
Are you ready? Then brace yourself.
This is Loveline with Kevan Kenney and Dr. Tara.
Call or text 833-LOVE-191.
Loveline is on now.
I always knew they said that foreplay was important, and I was going to say how long that went on. That intro? I was trying to count the love lines for my cue, but maybe I should take note.
I'm warmed up.
You're warmed up now.
I'm warmed up.
You should be patient.
Thank you for asking.
Well, I wanted to beat Muggs to the punch. We don't need him asking questions like that. It is the world famous KROQ, Kevan Kenney, Dr. Tara, Loveline, episode 2. Can we get a round of applause? Woo! Hopefully we're better than that crappy Star Wars flick, right? Episode 2. It's kind of like our second date, though, Tara, in all seriousness, huh?
Yeah.
And those are always like, I mean, I don't even know how many times I get to a second date, because I'll be honest, I'm never going to pull punches on this show. When I was single, I would do the first date, and then after that, it was always my place. I wouldn't take him out.
Interesting. Why not? Why not go on another date?
I just think that's not really what I was looking for in those apps. I mean, it's probably a conversation we can get into about apps, and I think all the problems with the dating apps and why I think they're the worst. If you're a woman looking for you to date heterosexually, I should specify, and you're looking to date a man, a heterosexual man, that is the worst idea ever, because it's set up to fail.
There are apps that are literally for long-term relationships.
Yeah, but who's using that? Like nerds and losers and people like, shut-ins? Who?
A lot of men and women.
Really?
Yes.
See,
maybe not
like,
you, but a lot of people.
It was just, you know what it is? It should come with a disclaimer. I honestly think, I'll be honest, I think the way you solve the dating app sort of crisis and the epidemic facing people today is you should have to be approved to use it. So like someone like me, I'm extroverted, right? I love talking to people. I'm outgoing. I don't need the app. So you're abusing the app, Kevin. I see this in hindsight now. I never needed this app. All it did was inorganically just bring me in contact with an inordinate amount of women, and I just feel like I was probably abusing the app.
Well, were you looking for a relationship, or were you just there for casual sex? And did you tell them?
I would always tell them. That was kind of like...
What do you say? Do you go, hey, listen, I'm not looking for something serious?
Couple, maybe a month into hooking up, you always get the, what are we? What is this? Hey, I don't know if I want to keep doing this. We're not going to be serious. And you go, well, I'm sorry. I just don't want to be serious. And they're like, well, it's okay to hang out then. It's still okay. So but that would kind of always inevitably happen when I was single.
Well, that just means that you were hanging out with the women that go, I can change him.
But isn't that all women?
No.
What woman is out there that doesn't think, okay.
Me.
Okay. Let me talk about Literotica for a moment, okay? Because I've been dying to talk about Literotica.
Great band.
Yeah, exactly, right? I hope that, now that Oasis is back, hopefully we get Literotica back.
They're opening up, yeah.
But Literotica, right? And you want to define that, Doc, just so I'm not misspeaking on it? What is Literotica?
Literature erotica?
Yeah, well, but do you want to just kind of build upon that a little bit? It's like written pornography, right? Is that fair to say?
Yeah, but it also has a strong storyline, strong character development.
I'm out.
Really, really beautiful storylines and the love that's blossoming between the main characters.
Right.
And then yes, sex becomes graphic in these literature erotica, but it's not like the sole purpose isn't just to turn people on or get people off.
Well, yes, it is. What the hell does that mean?
Not.
Go read a book. You're reading Literotica. That's like Muggs who brings Penthouse to work, and we go, dude, you got to stop bringing Penthouse to work.
It's for the
and he
articles.
goes, no, it's for the articles.
Yeah.
Penthouse doesn't have character development and strong bond and
You
storyline.
haven't read the Penthouse I've read.
Are you contending rather, that there are Literotica books that are on par with a John Grisham or an F. Scott Fitzgerald?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Hemingway, perhaps.
Don't you think that these people were so good at writing books and such great writers and such captivative storytellers that they would just write real books?
It's different. See, like when people write Literotica, I think they write it in like for female gaze, because like the world is male gaze.
Well, we've established that. That's where I'm going with this. But I'm saying you think that people read Literotica and they don't want to get turned on.
It's so well written. Yeah. Sometimes I read it, I'm like, oh, this is really hot, but I'm not necessarily like turned on or trying to get turned on. I just think it's a beautiful story that involves a lot of eroticism, which I love involving in my daily life.
I tried Literotica once just because I wanted to try it out. Did you ever do that, Muggs?
No.
No.
Why would I do that?
He hasn't even tried books. He honestly doesn't even try instructions that we give him.
Goosebumps is where I stopped.
Yeah.
I'm going to send you one so you can listen to it on your drive home.
Ooh, an audiobook. I'll do that.
You might get an erection, honestly.
Ooh. Look, I'm driving with no hands, Ma.
Something tells me that Muggs was the kid back in the day, like in library class, would read those choose your own adventure books. And whatever he would choose would be like, oh, start over, you know?
Oh.
Well, that's what happens when you have ADHD.
Right. And if you remember from episode 1, he is a pioneer in ADHD.
Right. Before the H. Before the
Didn't
attitude.
know
Before
that
the
was
H.
something people brag about.
Hashtag before the H. But anyways, I tried Literotica one time, and they lost me, I think, in chapter 2 when they spent about like 2 paragraphs describing the man's urethra. And I just thought, I don't need to know like that it was that round or, you know, that descriptive, of course. And I don't think Muggs is giving me the eye that we shouldn't be that descriptive on the radio about a urethra. So I will move on. My point is that you are saying that women do not all want to change men. And I am saying, yes, absolutely they do. Because you know what the number one most popular storyline dynamic in Literotica is, which is, as you've already established, Doctor, for women predominantly. Do you know what it is?
I can change him.
It's the taming of the beast. It's Beauty and the Beast, right? It's the pirates. It's the beasts. It's like the Wolverines of the world, right?
The bad boy with the leather jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, men do it too. I am like the reason I'm not more successful dating is I think and I thought a lot about in episode 1, you talked about how I like women that are well endowed because I have a thing for like, you know, procreating and starting a family, and then men that like feet and stuff like that, they're into like women with resources.
Right.
And I went down the list and I thought of all these people in my life that are into feet or like that kind of idea, you know, and they all kind of like rich girls, or they like girls that are of means or drive nice cars or are in like social circles that have clout. You know?
It makes sense, right?
It does make sense.
Yeah.
And so I think sometimes because of my priorities, like I don't care about resources, and sometimes in lack of resources in women are also lack of morals and lack of drive and lack of character. And so I find these women and I'll go, you know what? I can love them to be a better person. I can love them into improvement. And of course, it's not how it works.
Well, but then like you also then don't have sex with them on a second date.
What?
Like
I always have sex. I probably have sex on the first date. So the only time I'm not having sex on the second date if it was like brutal on the first date.
Oh, then you wouldn't have a second date if it's brutal. Why would you have a second date? So I think ultimately, like I'm not battling with like should people have sex on a first date or not, because there is no. Did I pull this? Sorry. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I feel like I pulled it. Okay.
You still here?
Yeah. Let's specify, too, because it is an audio-first product. She's not pulling any anatomy here. Because Muggs is being very quiet right now as Tara goes, did I pull it?
But a little to the left.
Yeah.
No. Can you hear? You got it? Hold on.
I just want to say this sounds like sex, okay?
Try that now. Are we back?
It works now, yes.
Okay,
Oh,
beautiful.
wow. Hey, I guess the pills are working, Muggs.
Sex or technical difficulties?
Yeah.
New game on Loveline.
Nothing new with Muggs and a woman. That she couldn't find it, you know? She goes, am I pulling it? Is that it? Little to the left.
You should know, Kevin, huh?
No.
Oh, wow. That
Well, you
was
know what?
intimate.
Muggs, ever since you told him he's above average in terms of endowment, he's just told every single person on Ventura Boulevard.
Is it on his LinkedIn?
It probably is. It's like, and it's like hashtag open to work, you know?
Open to work.
Yeah.
And then it's like hashtag above average in endowment.
You should see what I do on off ramps.
Hashtag feel free to ask for reference. But yes, when it comes to having sex on a first date, there is this like stereotype, like, oh, you know, it's so unfair and double standard. Like men can have sex on a first date all day long, every day, all the time with all the women. Women who have sex on a first date sometimes is deemed as like, you know, oh, easy. She's easy. She's that type of girl. Like she's a side
she is
chick.
easy.
No.
It is
no,
easy. No, but
no.
it's fundamentally easier than a woman who doesn't
Easy
sleep with you.
is a loaded term, okay? It has a negative connotation.
It
but
does,
Let
but
me
it is
tell you,
easy.
sometimes life can be easy. Life doesn't have to be hard.
Of course. No.
Yes.
I think we're saying the same thing. I just
Yes.
want to I think a lot of times with terms
Yeah.
these days, people get
Thank you,
offended by
dictionary.
it. No, but they get offended by the term.
Right.
And you go, well, that still is true. I understand you don't like it, but it still is true that a woman that sleeps with you on the first date is easier.
An easygoing person.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But are you ignoring, Doctor, that there are a
No.
lot of women?
Let me explain.
Okay.
So, when it comes to the first date, right, and whether or not you have sex on a first date, there's two running theories. The first one is the sexual restraint theory, and people who subscribe to this school of thought don't have sex on a first date because they try to restrain to try to build emotional connection, then they have sex. So statistics show people wait about 3 dates in before they have sex for the first time. Don't raise your hand.
I
Mugs.
do that. I do that.
Is that true? I don't think
I
so.
really do.
But that's people who subscribe to a sexual restraint model. Completely fine if you want to wait 3 dates to have sex because you need to build emotional connection. However, naturally, there's people who subscribe to the second school of thought, which is called sexual compatibility model. And sexual compatibility model, people who subscribe to this school of thought believe that sexual compatibility is one of their top values in long-term relationships. So when they are dating, the first thing they want to, well, not the very first, because obviously you go get coffee, go on a hike, go to dinner, whatever. But
Who are these losers
one
that
of
do
the
that?
many people, Kevin.
A girl once took me on a walk out for our first date.
I love hiking.
And I'm
Lots
just like,
of
what am I doing? Like, what are you, like, because she
women
wasn't
love
interesting. And
hiking and beach walks.
yeah.
But anyway, so if you subscribe to a sexual compatibility model, it is most likely that you want to have sex at the end of your first date to determine if this person is sexually compatible with you or not. Because again, goes back to your values in life and in long-term relationship. If it places very high, like your top 3 values is sexual compatibility in a relationship, you will want to figure that out sooner than later. It's all very rational. So for me, I subscribe to this school of thought, right? In my ideal relationship, which what I have with my current partner is I've always wanted to be with someone that I passionately adore. Like I want to jump this person all day long when I see them. Like I will not say no to sex because I'm really into them. And I've always wanted that, but in my early 20s, I've always just kind of dated people that I wasn't super into, that they were into me. Right? But then now with
she's
my
a narcissist.
Oh, thank you.
Have you ever
a
been
healthy
diagnosed?
kind.
I don't think you're a narcissist. I'm just
not.
telling a joke. But have you that's a very popular go-to for insult, by the way.
People say that all the time, and
Right.
it's so oversaid.
Yeah.
That and anxiety, because like a lot of people don't have clinical anxiety. Like, they just feel a little bit
It's
nervous.
called being alive.
It's like I'm a little nervous. Yeah, like that's fine.
I'm anxiously narcissistic.
Mugs. What the mugs?
What the mugs?
So I'm asking you to self-reflect
Yeah.
and assess yourself. So do some self-assessment. Are you someone who subscribes to sexual restraint model, who like someone that loves building
No.
emotional connection first, or do you subscribe to a sexual compatibility model?
I'm trying to get laid, man.
So
I'm trying to have a
You're
good.
so shallow.
You know what's
Kevin.
funny? I talk.
So
but
shallow.
like
Isn't
in
he
order,
tall?
so when you meet someone like and you think like this could be your girlfriend, would you then want to have sex with her like right after the first date, or do you want to wait after 3 dates?
Yes.
Yeah, answer the question.
Not me. I mean, the way I live my life every day is I'm just trying to have a good time. So I go, if I'm going out on a Friday night and like the chick is super hot and I'm into her and I'm like, dude, this is gonna be awesome.
Okay.
And then she's into it,
Okay.
right? Yeah, who cares? But I will
Okay.
say this: there's this dynamic that is so awful in the dating pool right now, where it's so competitive for young women to get the attentions of men, right? Because you've seen the statistics, right? Since the iPhone has come out, basically, there is some correlative research where sexless young men has risen every year since 2007.
Incels.
Yes, incels, right? And is that a cool term, like from a doctor's perspective, like, or is that like an insultive term?
I mean, it's just a short for an actual word, so people shouldn't get offended.
Celibate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't take offense to it. I'm just curious.
Right.
Incel sounds like some like you're a terrorist or something.
I know.
Well, it's been used that way. So same goes with easy, right? Like the connotation, it has like loaded meaning, right? To say incel, but it just means involuntary celibacy.
Oh,
But
okay.
so, anyways, as I was saying, since 2007, you can look this up for yourself. I don't know. It might be Pew. I don't know who did the research. But every single year, sexless young men has risen, right? And so basically, young women, have stayed stagnant, right? So they've stayed relatively even as these young men have dwindled. So what you can deduce from that research is that there is all of the women are now competing and having sex with a smaller percentage of like the upper echelon males, okay? And so what the truth of that is on these dating apps, it is so uber competitive for young women to get the attention of these males because all of the women now, they don't want the incels, right? They don't want those people. They all want the same top 5 to 10% of the suitors, right? Of the men. And so what they do to get attention is sleep with the man as soon as possible, right? Because they go, well, if I don't, I'm not even in the conversation, right? But then what happens in the male mind is that then the challenge is sort of over. And I think we live in a time now, in these modern times, and I like to think I'm a modern, didn't we play a song on KROQ, Modern Boy or Modern Girl? The Bleachers song.
Oh, yeah.
Modern
Girl.
girl.
Yeah.
Anyways, but I like to think of myself as a modern boy, right?
And a great singer, too.
Thank you. But there is a reality to if I gave you $1 million right now, you would not, as a human being, male or female, appreciate it as much as if you worked for a year or more years and you earned it, right?
Right.
So that's the reality. That's the juxtaposition that we can't run from, no matter how uncomfortable it is that these women are feeling like they can't get male attention unless they sleep with them on the first date, but they're also sort of disqualifying themselves to a lot of men by doing that.
Well, that's an interesting point of view. I do think, though, in real, authentic dating, where people are looking for long-term partners, those kind of logics like don't really apply because I mean when I was on a dating app I'm pretty clear like who I am, what I'm looking for, and I only date men who are mature enough to take me out on a date, and whether or not I have sex on a first date with them depends on how well that date goes. Like if it goes really well, I know we have chemistry, I know we have potential. Like this could be my long-term partner, my life partner. Then, because I subscribe to the sexual compatibility school, I will then want to have sex with this person at the end of my first date, which I did with my husband, and turns out amazing.
That sounds
but
like
I would have not had sex with this person on a first date just to get attention if there was no chemistry. You see what I'm saying?
I do, but I marvel at like so much thought goes into. I mean, obviously you're a doctor, but it's like, Muggs is, I don't even think he's thinking right now. What are you looking up? What are you doing?
How many women sleep with men on the first date?
Okay. You think there's an answer?
Yeah.
You think like Google's going to know that?
It's the internet, dude.
Well,
okay. What does Bing say?
Okay, you ready? Unsurprisingly, over 70% of men are open to sex on the first date, but 61% of women are not.
Are not open to
Right.
having sex on a first date. That makes sense.
That's
to
not
me.
my experience, man. I think most of the time.
Oh, he's trying to say he's hot.
No, I'm not.
That's
saying,
why. That's
I'm
literally.
not saying that, dude.
This is
That's what
literally
you're
self promotion.
You narcissistic.
I think I vetted well. And I was honest. I never wasted somebody's time. If a woman was looking for something serious, I was like, hey, more power to you, sister.
Yeah,
You know
you're
what I
like,
mean?
that's just not what I'm looking for. But if men that were looking for casual relationships are dishonest, the world would be a better place. However, there are so many manipulative men
Right.
that will not tell the woman, that
Yeah.
acts like this is like a boyfriend-girlfriend experience. Yet, in his mind, there is no chance you're going to be wifing this person or dating them a long time. But they don't care because they're manipulating to get what they want. Versus you are pure-hearted and you just tell them exactly, listen, like this is not what I'm looking for. Here's what I'm looking for. Like women would appreciate that, and if they're horny and feeling it, they will have sex with you. But see, you see what I'm saying? Like, that's so much nicer and healthier than all these men out there using women, and then go on in later in life saying all these women that are terrible, they're not good enough or whatever. Like, it's probably karma, bro.
Well, can I ask you, I want you to actually offer me insight. I'm asking this earnestly on Loveline. Is a lot of women will hit me up after we've, had our fun, like even years after we've had our fun, with like something like sexually explicit in nature, right? Like referring to that they miss X, Y, or Z, or they were thinking
Dirty
of X,
talk.
Y. Yeah, but like not in I wouldn't say in a vulgar way, but just like, they'll reference something sexually. Now, I have a habit, I think, just working in the entertainment industry and having to audition for things early on in my career and stuff, of like, you just don't take compliments to heart because you're just like, everyone's kind of full of crap. And Muggs, we're getting a little feedback here. I don't know what that is. You don't take compliments well, I don't think, in this industry. And so I always just go, well, they really just want companionship back, and they're using that to get my attention. Or do you think that there are women out there that like are that sexual, and they're like, yeah, you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Can you answer that?
Yeah, my science-backed answer would be both.
Okay.
There are women who have low self-esteem, who sends these messages and images to get attention and external validation because they are going through like a rough time in their life. And that is true. The other thing is also true. So it doesn't mean like, oh, all women are this or all women are this. Like, this, people are different. But yeah, there's also women that are just sexually liberated. They love sexting and love just talking to people about their sexuality, what they like, what they're into, what they want to explore. So for me, it's like lumping them together is like doing a disservice, because one is high self-esteem, sexually liberated, not afraid to talk about sex. Another is low self-esteem, looking for attention, external validation, and isn't really doing it for a self-empowerment purposes. So ultimately, you just have to kind of see and vet like who is woman A, who is woman B.
We should probably take a commercial break, right?
Yes.
All right, we'll take a commercial break. This is Loveline, and we'll be back. I believe, have you been doing anything on the phones, Muggs? Do we have a caller?
It looks like we have 2 callers lined up right now.
Okay, so there are 2 human beings. How long have these poor human beings been on hold?
How long has this segment been?
Forever.
Yeah, probably a long time. All right, well, we apologize in advance. We'll be back on Loveline right after this.
Rory, come on.
KROQ.
We need guidance.
I'm calling Loveline. Loveline on KROQ.
KROQ.
Back to Loveline with Kevan Kenney and Dr. Tara.
It is possible to establish communication instantaneously from any place at any time.
833
LOVE 191.
Welcome back to Loveline. It is Kevan Kenney. Dr. Tara is here, and we have our first caller. Muggs figured out how to actually answer a phone call. We're very proud of him. And this is, if Muggs is correct,
Yeah, Alicia from Arcadia.
Okay, well, I was supposed to say that. Alicia from Arcadia is here, and she's dealing, I guess, with an issue of all Muggs wrote was sex before marriage. So, Alicia, why don't you fill us in on what's going on?
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me. So I guess my issue is I've always been raised to believe that waiting until marriage to have sex is the right thing to do. I grew up in a very religious family, but now that I'm in a serious relationship, I'm feeling a little bit conflicted. My partner and I have a very strong connection, and we've been talking about getting married, but they feel as though that having sex before marriage is important for building intimacy. And I'm just worried about compromising my values, but also don't want to hurt the relationship by holding on to those values and essentially holding back. So how do I balance these feelings, and how do I know what's right for me?
I don't even think we need the doctor. Do you want me to tell you what you need to do, Alicia?
That would be great.
You need to chill the F out, bro. I knew immediately when Alicia started talking how polite she was, how long-winded she was. I go, you just need to relax, bro. You just need to stop thinking so much. You need to stop with all these voices of different people's opinions. What do you want to do, Alicia? Before even, I don't want Dr. Tara to start billing you for minutes. So before we put her on the clock with her professional advice, what do you want to do, Alicia?
I want to have sex with my boyfriend.
So you should have sex with your boyfriend. Okay. That's how I feel. But doctor, now you break it down. My thing is no, but there are a lot of issues with sex of all kinds on both sides of orientations and genders, etc., right? That just you're overthinking. Just chill out. Just chill out. So that's how I feel. But what is professionally and actually and scientifically going on here?
Yeah, that's like a Walmart answer.
A Walmart answer?
Yeah.
What am I, like a Walmart greeter? What is a Walmart answer? What does that mean?
Let me explain it to you, why it's so conflicting for you and what social science is telling us. First off, it's completely normal for you to feel so confused and not sure what to do, and even probably feeling guilty, because research shows people who grew up with that type of belief and religious families tend to experience the most amount of sexual anxiety. So there's tons of research on religious families and young adults who have sexual anxiety, okay? So first off, you are fine, you are normal, and we can talk about next steps. How about that?
That would be great.
I understand you, and I respect what you have had in your life so far.
Thank you, because I do feel a lot of anxiety around the whole thing.
Of course, it's natural because you were taught, like, your whole life. How old are you?
I'm 27.
27, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you have never had your sexual debut.
No.
Do you guys know what sexual debut is?
Oh, your sexual, like the first time you had sex?
Are you asking me about a sexual debut?
Yeah.
I can deduce that.
Well,
who do you think you're dealing with here?
Well, because
I mean, it's not wrong for her to assume.
Mug's University of
Community.
Yeah, of Phoenix Online. Whoa, wait. But Alicia just went out there. I didn't hear what she said. Have you had your sexual debut yet?
I have not.
Okay. Have you done like hand stuff?
I have done hand stuff, yes.
All right. Have you, what base would you say you're on right now?
I would say I'm about to get to second base.
Well, second. Whoa, what are kids doing today? I thought second base. No, hold on. Let's just revisit the millennial baseball.
She's 27,
analogy.
so she's Gen Z.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. I remember first base was making out. Second base was under the shirt stuff and maybe hand stuff. Third base was oral stuff.
Right.
And then a home run was obviously, you're crossing the finish line there.
So I think when you're saying hand stuff, she might be thinking like hand stuff on the breast and hand stuff in other places, not hand stuff penetration.
Alicia, have you ever had oral sex?
I have not.
Okay. And you're 27?
Yeah.
I feel like you got to get on that, dude. I mean, be honest, though, because women always know. It's like a party line? What's going on with Alicia's phone? Alicia, you there?
Yes, I am.
Sorry, we're getting a lot of
There's a little delay.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Muggs.
Well, I mean, that's what's happening.
He's doing his job.
Yeah. He didn't
leave him alone.
answer a call. Now he's a phone expert. No, Alicia. So women are always very intuitive and emotionally intelligent, and they kind of know who their boyfriend is. I mean, better than probably the boyfriend knows the woman. Do you feel like sex is important to your boyfriend?
I feel like it's been more important as of late, since we've been talking about getting more serious with each other. Like I said, we want to get married. But he's just been such a gem and has been very patient.
Has he ever had sex?
He has.
Oh.
Can I ask you a question? And Dr. Tar's going to get mad at me for asking this question.
Go ahead.
What do you think the chances are this guy's cheating on Alicia? This guy, you're telling me this guy has had sex before, okay? Has rounded the bases, has had oral sex, has enjoyed that. I highly recommend it. Has done hand stuff, right? Has done all this stuff. Do you know how experienced he is, Alicia, if you don't mind me asking? Do you know, how many did you guys talk about body count, or is that a sore subject?
His body count is 5.
Okay, this guy's had, it's not bad, right? And he's 27?
He's 28.
Oh, he's 28. So he's 28. He's like,
yeah. But
I mean, unless this is like Helen of Troy, maybe Alicia, would you say you're really attractive?
I'm very attractive.
Oh, wow. See?
Oh, see, she has high
all these
self-esteem.
callers are real. Like, you remember that? We had a caller last episode where they were talking about having a Riz or something.
Oh yeah,
I don't remember her.
Riz.
Well, anyways, you sound like a secure woman who has high self-esteem, but is just unsure about having sex for the first time with your boyfriend before you get married. You know what?
Yeah, but
if you are curious, go ahead and do it. Take it slow. Make sure there's a lot of verbal consent, and wear a condom.
Okay, I'm getting to the bottom of this, Alicia. So unless this is like Helen of Troy, right, that could start the Trojan War over how beautiful she was,
maybe
right?
she is.
No, and maybe she is. I mean, clearly she thinks she's really attractive. And I'm not saying you're not, Alicia. It's just, I'm in a radio studio and you're not here, so I can't attest to that, and I don't want to mislead the listener. But according to Alicia, she's very attractive, and you believe that your boyfriend, who's 28 years old, who has had sex before, who has done hand stuff, has done oral stuff, is truly not cheating on you.
I I'm a firm believer.
I don't know, man. How do you do that? As a guy, Muggs, how do you do? Well, you couldn't do that.
I mean,
What if you really fell in love with a woman, Muggs?
yeah.
Like you really you went on a date and you're like, wow, this connection I've never had before. And her boundary is potentially not having sex before the first date. Would you still date her if you fell in love?
Yeah. Yeah. I
There
think
you
so.
go.
I think I would.
Easy.
Yeah.
Hey, Muggs, let me put it a different way to you. So if you were going to work, you had to go to work, right?
Right.
And you didn't have a car, so you had to take the bus.
Mhm.
Okay, and then this bus was like, well, I don't know, I might not take you to work. I don't really know. And then you're like, well, there's another bus in 10 minutes that'll definitely take me to work.
Yeah, but it's a crappier bus now.
No, it might be the same kind of bus.
Oh, same bus?
Yeah.
Mm.
It's kind of interesting, right?
Why are we using buses and work? What? Who am I with? 19-year-old boys? Next.
It's a good point, Kevin. Thank you.
Here's the thing. A lot of
Have
people,
sex.
the best, yeah, you definitely should have sex. But I mean, I think you know what's great about that? I just realized this. You and I don't really agree on very much, Dr. Tara, which is what I think I love working with you so much about. But that solves everyone's problems, because if he is cheating, he'll stop cheating, and then if he's not cheating, you can just finally consummate the
Consummate.
Yeah, you can consummate. She didn't know. She thought I didn't know what debut meant, but you could consummate the relationship. I mean, are you guys engaged? Clearly, I've been listening.
No, not engaged yet, but we have been seriously talking about getting engaged.
And this whole sex before marriage thing, again, I'm sorry, I was babysitting Muggs when you were explaining it. This is because your parents told you this?
Parents, family, just how I grew up.
But don't you think
It's
that
very common.
I know it's common, but it's like the fast track to living the worst life ever.
Exactly.
Because not to be morbid, but one day your parents are going to pass away, and your family's not going to be there anymore. And people are this is what I think people have to hear, and maybe Alicia needs to hear this. People that are very influenced by other people, right? And they really matter to them what people think. Those people don't actually care about what you're doing. They have their own troubles. They have their own lives. They're thinking about other stuff. And then you're there suffering for no reason. So you shouldn't suffer anymore. You should have, as Dr. Tar would say, an orgasmic day, Alicia.
Yeah. Yes, Alicia, don't forget to wear a condom, okay?
What, she's wearing? What do you just tell her to put on a dental dam? What do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean wear a condom, Alicia? The guy should wear the condom.
Yes, but as a woman who is sexually empowered, which is her new MO,
Right.
you can buy a condom and have it.
Oh, yeah,
For your
yeah.
sexual debut and be like, hey, baby, I have the condom.
I thought you meant a
It's a
female
gift.
condom. Oh, okay.
By the way, Alicia, if you've done hand stuff, you're already at third base according to Google sexual
Bing.
baseball.
He did something. Hold on, he did something.
You might as well just go to fourth base. Go score a home run, you know? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You might as well. You're almost there.
Yeah. And Alicia, if he's cheating, make sure he wears a condom too.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So, hey, are you going to think about it? Are you going to think about boning the guy?
I am seriously going to consider now.
Okay.
You gotta let us know.
All right. Yeah, let us know.
Okay, I will.
If you want to, Muggs.
Yeah.
If she wants
No,
to.
I will. I'll call back in.
All right, Alicia, thanks so much. Alicia from Arcadia. Very cool.
Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you, Alicia. There is no way that guy's not cheating on her.
Some people can actually adhere to boundaries because they are in love. Love is powerful.
That powerful?
Yes, love
In
is
this
the most
world?
powerful thing in the world.
Really?
Yeah.
What are you, like a hippie?
Love and orgasms.
Love and orgasm. She sounds like the guys that started Ben and Jerry's. That's
a flavor.
Yeah, love is the most
Yeah,
powerful thing in the world. But hey, you ever think like a hate's the most powerful thing in the world? Wow. Because don't you get way more like does this ever come up in like textbooks and stuff where I would rather date someone that hated all of the same things than loved all the same things?
Have you ever seen that dating app?
What, hater?
There's a dating. Yeah.
I've
there's
never, well, no, that's like a little bit much.
Yeah,
that's
it
like,
is, isn't it? Yeah.
But no, in all seriousness, because I think what comes up a lot is you don't want to say like not nice things to people. You don't want to entertain things that are not like positive, which I think is good. But don't you think you're doing people disservice sometimes by not addressing what could be happening? Because people are people, and if that guy's 28 and has had sex 5 different times with 5 different women, and obviously he's a guy, he's wired that way, and then here's this girl that won't even go down on him.
Not all guys are wired that way.
Really?
And I mean,
am I just crazy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We might learn that during doing this show, where
You-
I just have a
yeah.
very, I
I
have a
feel
very
like
skewed perspective.
This is your indirect therapy.
Yeah, and it's cheaper than therapy, dude. Seriously. All right, we have more Loveline coming up next, including Love Bites. We're going to debut a new segment that Dr. Tara has made wildly popular on the internet, and we said, hey, let's mooch off that for our FM radio show coming up next.
More Loveline coming up with Kevan Kenney and Dr. Tara.
Call or text 833-LOVE-191.
KROQ. This is Loveline.
Loveline on KROQ.
With Kevan Kenney and Dr. Tara. Call or text 833-LOVE-191.
Back on Loveline, Kevan Kenney, Dr. Tara, producer Muggsy, and we got a good old-fashioned Love Bites for you next. This is born out of course, lovebites.co. That is the username of our beloved Dr. Tara. You can find her at Lovebites, LUVBITES.co on social media. And as I like to say, go for the beauty of Dr. Tara, stay for the brains of Dr. Tara over there. A wealth of information on sexual health, etc. And Love Bites is pretty cool. How would you describe Love Bites?
Bite-sized information that's about love, sex, dating, relationship. That's backed by science and social scientific research.
And it's so funny because whenever you share these stats with me, and I am the furthest thing from a doctor. I mean, I barely work as a radio DJ. But you say it's backed by science, but so many times I hear this information on Loveline with you, and I just go, really? That's how it works? Like, I don't know. I don't know if I buy it. Not that you guys care in the world of academia, but what do you got for us tonight?
Okay, so women don't like big penises. What do you think is the size that women prefer?
Average, 6 inches.
Okay, that was a lot of confidence. Kevin?
I'm going to say, I feel like these studies always come out, and it's always like even less than that. I'm going to say 5.
Right on the money, because research found that women don't buy large dildos, even though there's all this like music and, you know, rap songs of women saying they like 8 inches. That's not true based on data, because most women buy sex toys that are lower than average in size.
Really?
Yeah, they buy sex toys of less than 5 inches.
Producer Muggs, can I actually have you produce something?
Sure.
Go on the internet right now and look up what is the most popular sized, what would you say, dildo?
Mm-hmm.
What is the most popular sized dildo for women? Is it just women?
Just women.
Just women in 2024.
Okay.
It probably is going to just autocomplete because it's probably already looked this up. Then don't say 2024. We don't want to mess with the doc, but I'm curious. Because I've heard something different. I've heard something different than that. So you're saying the 5-inch dildo is the most popular dildo, and that's based off of just asking women?
They don't buy based on large size. They don't. They really don't.
What does it say?
Well, it's going by circumference. It says on average, mean circumference for best-selling dildos was 12.7 centimeters.
Can you just give me a length? I've like, this is the first time I've ever asked you to do anything, and you're like giving me like this weird answer.
Okay, here we go.
What does it say?
A 5 inches by 4.5 circumference.
And what's the source?
Reddit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean,
source.
it kind of is. Like, I mean, not always, but there's a lot of people on that website. All right, so 5 inches. So is that the end? So it says here that you've written down they buy an average size or smaller than average. Now, why is that?
It's because there's such a myth in our world, in the narrative about sexual health and sizes for men, that women like huge penises, which is like completely untrue, but it's still so ingrained in our society.
Now, is that like an American thing? Because it's like sort of the supersized me country we live in, and bigger is better. Is if you go to cross cultures in, say, Europe or Asia, or anywhere in the world, is it the same kind of thing that bigger is better?
I don't hear about it as much.
Really?
And I mean, I'm from Asia originally, and I've studied in Europe, and I didn't hear it as much as America. Like, America is obsessed with big penises.
So then what? Well, they're just obsessed with big anything.
Right.
So then what do you make of size queens? What's up with them?
A niche.
How much do you think, if you were to do a study, is that anatomically influenced? Like women with wider or deeper vaginas being size queens?
And that makes sense, right? So I would say there is probably a significant correlation of women that prefer much, much larger penis than the average as compared to their like vaginal canal sizes.
Right.
Yeah. So I would say that would be a significant correlation because, like, for one, like I couldn't have sex with someone that had an 8-inch penis that I went on a date with. He pulled down his pants and I scream and I go, yeah, I can't do that.
Wow. So wait, you just said you can't have sex with someone with an 8-inch penis?
Mm-hmm.
So that means that you've never had sex with someone with an 8-inch penis?
Mm-mm.
That's interesting.
I know my exact measurement.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
Is it still,
Did you use a ruler?
Is it still in your trapper notebook? Is that where it is, Muggs?
I know my girth as well.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
Why does this come up? Like, why'd you want to know?
Just want to know, man.
You just wanted to know.
Want to know what I'm working with.
Okay. When did this happen in your life?
Yesterday.
Really?
No.
Was it really?
No.
Well, no, I'm curious if you don't mind.
When did I?
Yeah, like when did you get so curious and when did you measure your length and your circumference?
Probably like my mid to late 20s.
And what brought that on?
I just wanted to know. I didn't use. I've never actually officially used a ruler.
I love the honestness of Muggs. It is refreshing.
Yeah.
And so you don't like 8? Do you like 7?
I can do 7.
You can do 7, but
Yeah.
8. Now, how did you learn you can't do 8?
With a dildo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It just wasn't enjoyable.
So I bought this like training set where there's like really big dildos and it just kind of goes down in
No,
size.
what made you want to do that?
Exploration. I just wanted to know what my body is able to do and what feels good and what doesn't feel good. And I think I encourage everybody to try that.
Yeah, some
actually.
people run marathons. Some people get the training set of dildos. I get it. I totally get it.
Exactly. Completely normal. Totally normal, totally healthy. But basically I wanted to try and see what would feel good for me and what would not feel good for me. And so I got that training set and then I started like putting lube on it and I put it in and see what feels like kind of okay. That's still okay. And then like, ooh, no, that feels bad. Like it's hitting inside my body way too much. And so, yeah.
So there's a point of diminishing returns.
Exactly.
And you found that to be above 7.
What we call in social science a curvilinear relationship.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. Now, why are you so confident? I'm curious. Is it a statistical thing that neither of the men in this room are 8?
Statistics.
It's statistics. It's just that rare. Really? Huh. What is that statistic? Do you know?
What do you mean?
Well, what is that
average
statistic?
size?
No, like that. Like what percentage of the population is walking around with 8?
8 and above?
Yeah.
Few. Like,
really?
If I have to, I mean, I don't have it on top of my head, but if I have to guess, it will be less than 15%.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. Do you know of men from which country in the world have the largest penis?
From which country?
Italy.
Yes, thank you very much. This is helping. The country with the largest penis or the largest, like, overall?
Largest penis.
Like, the largest penis lives there. If you wanted to write the largest penis a letter, you would mail it to this country. Or overall, if you took all of the penises...
The men that are
the
from that
average-
country has the,
So this
has
is
the
an
largest penis. Yes,
this is
yes,
an
yes,
average.
yes.
Okay.
Time's almost up.
I'm going to have to start the Jeopardy song over again.
Denmark.
False.
Belgium.
Belgium. You said Italy before.
I know.
Why'd you change your... What do you think, we're like Belgian guys? And now you're like, yeah, no, that one Belgian guy. What's the answer?
Congo.
Oh, really?
Congolese men.
So I guess what's the takeaway there?
The takeaway is don't be ashamed of your penis size because whatever you have is a gift from God and that it's the motion of the ocean.
And I just think, like, I read something recently that, like, how big is, like, at the top of a lot of searches for, like, men when they search for pornography. But it doesn't even, like, don't quote me on this, it's not even in the top 10 for women when they search whatever. So there you go.
Yeah.
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 It's
There's
like
a lot of evidence, right? Evidence from porn statistics, evidence from sex toy statistics.
Yeah.
Like, how much more statistics and evidence do you need, men, to feel good and comfortable about your penis size?
Well, it's funny that you say that, Tara, because, growing up watching porn,
Right.
I guess a lot of guys get disillusioned because, a lot of those guys in those porns, not necessarily all of them have gigantic penises. It's from what I understand, like the camera angles that they're doing.
Yeah.
It makes
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also, I'm curious. Do you think the male obsession with penis size is sort of homoerotic in nature, or do you think it's more likely men also enjoy action movies? They like sports. They like sensationalistic, violent things, right? Like action-packed stuff, right? Us guys. No, seriously though. And then if you're watching a pornography movie, right? To be a gentleman about it, it's just more exciting. Don't you think it's just more? Yeah, because it's just like out of the ordinary. Like you'd go, you don't like, they used to say, you remember the circus, right? They don't pay to see dogs and cats. They pay to see lions and tigers. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's a good theory. I think that's an interesting theory. I don't know how true that is, because I think at the end of the day is men do see other men's penises that are bigger than them as adoration.
What do you mean?
They admire big penises that they see it as more masculine.
You know why I don't? Because I know those guys with like the massive 8, 9-inch, 10-inch dongs.
Right. Like your night host.
Don't know them. They cannot fully insert themselves. And that's awful. Pretty much, without getting too, detailed here, I have no problem fully,
As he proceeds to get very detailed.
Fully penetrate.
As they say, deep. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that.
I don't know either. Aren't you the producer? So why don't I mind watching pornography? But like if I'm in the gym locker room, I'm like, dude, I'm not. My eyes are at the ground. If I see a penis in public, why is that such a threat to me? Do you know?
It shouldn't be.
Well, it's not like a joke. I'm not setting up a punchline. I'm asking.
I'm like,
do your Rodney Dangerfield setting up that joke.
I can't get no respect.
I see a penis in public. I get hot under the collar. But seriously, what is that? You don't know? I find that fascinating.
You probably don't want to be perceived as homosexual if you were
No,
to look
bro,
at it and
I'm
get
not
turned
worried
on
about that at
and
all.
get an erection.
You always make it about this. It's not about this. It's not about, and I don't care about that at all. I find it fascinating of like, I have no aversion.
So why do you have to look away?
I just kind of think it's icky, but like, I'm being real honest. Like, I'm fascinated by like, why do I think it's icky? Because I don't think, like, dude, I want everyone to love whoever they love. I have no prejudice in my body, dude, when it comes to any orientation. But there's something where I'm like, yeah, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that.
Penises are not that pretty.
But
Mine is.
But then why in porn are we like so into it? Why do we not mind?
Why are you into it?
No, but why? No, I'm saying like if you think about how many millions of men, heterosexually identifying men, are watching pornography that feature males naked, right? Who
because
simultaneously
they
do not want to see
themselves to be that man having sex with that hot woman, crazy kinky sex with that hot woman, kind of sex that they can't even have in real life. So it's all about fantasy and the ability to embody that man, not admiring or not like trying to watch that man and how he moves or his penis size, but like imagining that you're that man and that's what you're getting.
Dude, imagine watching a porno and just like marveling at how he moves. Like that's your takeaway.
Yeah.
I don't
God,
have to
look at the way that guy moves. Yeah. Look at the way that guy moves, man. All right, well, this was, I think, a very informative Love Bites. Thank you, Dr. Tara. We got more Loveline next.
More Loveline coming up with Kevan Kenney and Dr. Tara.
Call or text 833-LOVE-191.
KROQ.
This is Loveline.
Yeah, we get kinky so tight.
Welcome back to Loveline. Kevan Kenney, Dr. Tara, and are we supposed to say your name?
No.
Oh, okay. Why is he whispering over there? That was creepy. Hey, anyways, what is you remember Ice-T's metal band?
Yeah, Body Count.
Body Count. You remember in their song, there was a band. Tara doesn't know anything about music, but there was you're Ice-T, the guy who's like, I'm Ice-T.
Yes.
Coco.
You know? Yeah.
Yes, he's a big character in Rick and Morty, one of my favorite TV shows.
You know what the best thing he's ever done is you ever see that like a meme where he's like the guy from Law & Order is like, I'm not gay. And he's like, I have sex with men, but I love women or something like that. And then Ice-T goes, hey buddy, that means you're gay. You ever see that?
No, that's
Oh,
not.
it's like a Law and Order
That's
episode.
awesome.
Oh, it's so great.
And then it goes, "Ka-king."
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, so Ice-T, you know from Law and Order, and then you obviously know he was a gangsta rapper, right? And then he famously had a vending machine in his MTV Cribs because he said he didn't like freeloaders in his house. So when people would go over his house, they'd have to pay for the snacks, which is pretty entrepreneurial. But the greatest thing that I think he ever did was he had a heavy metal band that was really cool called Body Count. And my favorite thing about Body Count is that their song is called Body Count. And my favorite thing about Body Count song Body Count is the whole song is just bum, 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 bum. Body Count. Body Count. They just say the name of their band. It'd be like
That's like self-plagiarism.
No, you don't even know, but it would be like if the Beatles were like, the Beatles, the Beatles, the Beatles. Like, that was the song, you know? So anyways, Body Count is a great band. Please check them out if you don't know what I'm talking about. And Body Count is also a hot debate when it comes to dating. And I can't wait to hear from this caller. Muggs says her name is Becca. She is from Torrance, California. And Muggs has written down here, after talking to Becca, that Becca is scared to tell my new partner my body count. Okay, so Becca, you are on the line, I've been told.
Hi.
How are you? So I guess let's just cut to the chase. What is your body count?
It's 15.
Okay, and how old are you?
I'm 20.
I guess that's a lot, right? So
it's all relative. It's subjective.
You're right. When did you lose your virginity?
At 15.
Okay. Hey, how do you feel about creepy doctors who call it your sexual debut?
It's so creepy. It's so weird.
That is the
It's so
proper.
cringe,
That is
dude.
the proper scientific term, by the way. Losing your virginity is a
What
pop
do you
culture
mean?
term.
What do you mean, your scientific term? What does
Sexual
that mean?
debut. Like, if you go to a doctor and you talk about the very first time you have sex, they will ask, when was your sexual debut? They don't go, when did you lose your virginity?
What do you go to, like a Broadway doctor?
No. A regular
like a
medical,
ragtime doctor?
A medical doctor.
Come on,
Open
in.
wide.
Shut up, Walmart.
When's the sexual debut? I don't know. In Jersey, we just say virginity. But anyways.
Don't ever go to Jersey.
So you lost your virginity at 15 years old. And was it like at the end of being 15 or the early part of being 15? That's important.
Probably the early part of 15.
Okay, and then are you at the early part of 20 or the late part of 20?
Like the middle part of 20. I think I just hit my half birthday.
Okay.
It's funny that she goes to UCLA because
Why?
my sexual debut was at UCLA.
Oh, really? Oh, I thought it was because...
On campus?
On a dorm room floor when I was 19.
Is that why you're not allowed, like, within, 200 feet? It's some amount of feet.
Wait,
I lost my virginity on a
At
dorm room
19.
floor at 19 at UCLA.
That's quite late.
And, if you know the dorm room floors, they're not comfortable. It's like just cement with carpet over it. So
Wait,
at 19,
how did
no
you-
one cares.
no one cares.
And
But it
what
was uncomfortable.
Okay, so
still.
you were 19 when this happened?
Mm-hmm.
So when you were 20, what was your body count?
I can't remember.
Okay.
Okay. So at 19, you had sex with one person. At 20, did you have sex with another one person?
I
or?
think she was the same person I
Okay.
was having sex
So it was
with,
still
yeah.
one.
All right.
Okay,
Hey,
what about
still
you,
one.
Kevin? Because
when I was 20, well, my girlfriend in high school, I was madly in love with, not to contradict myself from earlier on in the show, but I was madly in love with her, and I dated her from, like, on and off, kind of, from, like, 7th grade, but I had a crush on her since, like, 5th grade. It was that kind of, like, puppy love thing. Anyways, we broke up, like, I don't know, like, end of junior year of high school, something like that. She wouldn't have sex. So I graduated from high school a virgin, but then I kind of got right to work when I got to college. So I would say by 20, maybe 4, maybe 2 freshman year. I don't know, maybe 3 freshman year, and I don't really remember a lot of I'm trying to add it up anyways. But Becca is you're kind of like, so we're looking at 5 years roughly. So that's 3 a year. I mean, that's not... Yeah. It's more than in my day, but like, I mean, with dating apps, no, but seriously, with dating apps, like, well, do a lot of the guys you sleep with, Becca, is it off of dating apps?
Girls.
Or
right?
girls.
Could be
Oh,
guys
yeah,
and
I'm
girls.
sorry. Yeah, you're totally right. And please, if it's
No.
girls, tell us more.
No, it's all guys, but yeah, they're all mostly on dating apps. So it's like I go on a lot of first and second dates, and I end up sleeping with them.
And
but
why
then
do
it
you-
doesn't go much farther.
And just out of curiosity, because, I don't know, a radio host earlier on in this very program was making a point. Could you be honest, Becca, why do you, if you had to reflect, why do you sleep with these men so quickly on the dating apps?
honestly, I kind of feel bad. I mean, they pay for the dinner and they take me out. And I mean, I obviously want to sleep with them. It's not like I feel forced to, but like, you know, it's like the expectation at the end of the night.
Guilt sex.
Wow, it's so interesting. It's like what Kevan Kenney was saying.
It's
like so crazy.
There's a whole research about sexual expectations, and believe it or not, in research it shows if you have dinner date, the sexual expectation goes up by like more than 50%. But if you have coffee date, the sexual expectation is very low. And if you have no money related date, so walks, hikes, then the sexual expectation is 0.
Yeah, I don't know what that says. I don't know. I mean, I feel like that's a couple degrees removed.
It simply means like the men that you're going on dates with for dinners and stuff, and you feel like you owe them something. Becca, I think this is something that you could probably reflect and work on, because you don't owe people anything.
Like, yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
and I always want the free dinner, but I guess I should go on hiking dates.
Yeah, or hey, Becca, you could get a job and pay for your own dinner.
I'm in college. I don't have time for that.
Yeah,
Did you have a job in college?
I worked at a liquor store. It was barely a job. But Becca, you know what? I think there's a disconnect though when men hear about this, like, you know, high body counts, is because I have a theory that men are so bad at sex, predominantly speaking, like overall, the average guy is just bad at having sex, that women can almost have sex and like not even like experience it. Can you attest to that at all, Tara?
100%.
Right? So it's like when men think about, you had sex with, also would men project, and I can attest to this because this is a big breakthrough mentally, because I used to, like, as every, I think, guy does, I've slut-shamed in my life, you know what I mean? I've dabbled in that line of work, and I'm unproud to say that.
Is that a line of work? Slut-shaming?
I wasn't paid, but I mean, Muggs isn't getting paid to do this.
But overcoming it might be hard work, because you might, you know, have been conditioned to be a toxic man, and now you're not. So
well, right, but
I'm happy for you, and
I am
thank
reformed.
you.
I am reformed. I'm not a perfect man.
We like
but
reformed men.
But I don't slut shame, and I'll tell you why. It's because men will hear that you had sex. I'm talking about heterosexual men when I talk about this. Will hear that you had sex with 15 people in 5 years, Becca, right? And the thought, if you're a heterosexual guy, the thought of like having sex with a guy is like, it's unappealing to you, right? So, you know, you might be like grossed out by it, right? As you know, and I'm not saying everybody is. I'm not saying that's right to feel that way, but you could feel that way. So they look at it as like a gross thing, but I think men have to look at it like, no, like how you look at hooking up with a chick, that's how they look at hooking up with a guy. And so it's like they're just like you like having fun, they like having fun. And so once you get past that, but I do think that what men also don't understand is it's not the same, you know, like a woman could pick up the phone while she was having sex.
Right.
A man couldn't pick up the phone while he was having sex.
He would lose an erection.
Well, he would lose an erection. You'd be like, you know, he'd be huffing and puffing, and you know what I mean?
Right.
You know, but a woman could just like, you know, because men are so bad at this.
Is that why you were out of breath when I called you yesterday?
No, that's another story for another time.
Probably masturbating.
You know what's funny? She was talking about dry penis the other day on social media.
Yeah.
Good band.
Yeah, that's another good band.
Is it a band?
And I was thinking about how when I masturbate, if I do masturbate ever, I don't do the lotion because it's too big of a production, and I already feel like a loser that I'm masturbating. That if I add like production elements to it, I'm like, dude, what are you, like a loser? You're like seducing yourself. You're getting oil and stuff. So Tara was on social media the other day talking about that, like it's bad for you to like do that. And if I do the masturbation stuff, I don't do the lotion. I realize, because it's just I think it adds like insult to injury.
No.
Wait, it's bad to not use lotion?
Dry rubbing?
Yeah, it's not good.
A lot of it is not good.
Yeah, it desensitizes you.
Right. So like imagine, okay, how God wanted you to have intercourse. You
very lubricated.
You
very
insert and it's lubricated,
yes,
right?
Yes.
So when you make love with your hand for like 20 years, you don't think something is going to change without that lubrication?
Now let me ask you a question.
Like very basic logic.
Let me ask you a question. Would habitual dry masturbation lead to the point when you do have lubricated masturbation or sex, in that case, would that just up the level of feeling, or you're just so desensitized from the dry masturbation?
I mean, dry masturbation from time to time is fine. But if you are someone who is, you know, sexually healthy, you like masturbation once a day, I highly recommend using lubricant because it's just good for you. But
so, Becca, do you masturbate a lot?
I do, yeah.
Okay. So have you ever thought about like life experiences or things in your childhood where you you become hypersexual, if you will? Because it seems like it's not just like about the dinners, right? Because if it was about the dinners, it seems like that's like transactional and you could be a people pleaser. But it seems like in your own time, you're saying you also masturbate quite a bit. So is there anything in your life that has made you hypersexual, you think?
I don't know. I've just been dating people on and off since I was like 14 or 15. So I've just always like had a partner or had multiple partners. So I think it's just like sex has just been a normal part of my life for a long time.
And have you received backlash from any of these men, or do you are they such short trysts, if you will, that you never even get to the body count conversation?
Yeah, this is the first time that I've really had to have the conversation. That's why it's like so scary. Most of the time I just don't tell them, or I just like, say it's less than it is because it doesn't really matter.
Do you know his body count?
Yeah, it's about the same as mine, but
so what are you worried about?
Fair point.
Yeah, but it's different for men and women.
It is different from men and women. Going back to your point of slut shaming. There's still so many misguided men in the world that like don't think that way. They still slut shame women for their
Why
numbers.
do they do that? Is it because everyone's worried about the size of their penis and they don't want to be compared? Probably. Is it as simple as that?
It's simple. It's insecurity, right? Because if you think of it that way, what you described was we're men and women, yes, but we're just humans. And we like having sex. We enjoy sex. Like, why is it so bad for women to enjoy sex versus men? So if you think of it that way, like, we're all just humans enjoying life.
But no, in all seriousness, do you, I think there's something deeper here, though, with Becca and her boyfriend, who we don't need to name for privacy reasons. But there's something that he has shown you, Becca, that you think he's going to have a negative reaction to this.
Well, I don't know. He just seems to like care and like about his body count and think like his body count's really high. So if he thinks his is high, he's going to think mine is like really high for being the same since I'm a girl.
Sure, but I'm saying if he was a cool dude and he was confident in himself, he'd be like, he wouldn't even care about your body count, or maybe he would, but he wouldn't see it as a negative if it was the same as yours. But I do think there's also another aspect of the psychology here, Dr. Tara, is that yes, it's men being insecure about their sexual prowess and their sexual ability, and they need to be like the alpha, right? And maybe they're not the alpha if women have a lot of people to compare them to. But there's also just this thing in the male mind, I think, of like we want things that are rare, right? Men compete for championships on the sporting field, right? Or we compete to be the heads of companies, or to
women do too.
No, of course they do. I'm not saying they don't, Tara. What I'm saying, though, is on the topic of men's psychology, specifically speaking, is I think that there's this feeling of like, if the girl has been with too many guys, well, then this is nothing to achieve. This is not like, anything to aspire to have because everyone's had her. So can you speak about that at all?
Right. You shouldn't think of relationships as a competition. You shouldn't think of relationships as a competition. Like, relationships are organic co-creation of meaning, and you spend your life together and you try to have a good time and try to be responsible and try to share passion and have amazing sex and explore the world together. Like, romantic relationships should never be a competition. And I think that's what healthy men know, in fact, and how to like have that kind of relationship versus men who are still immature and think like everything is a competition will always suffer this like competing mentality in a romantic relationship, when in fact we're a team. We're a team. When you're in a relationship, you and your spouse, you're and your partner, you're in a team. So
you know what else I think, the other thing that doesn't get talked about nearly enough, and I say this for guys that are trying to understand their own emotions and are listening to Loveline, and they're trying to understand why do I not like this, or why do I not want this? I also think there's like this, I don't know if you call it a recency bias or whatever, but there's a phenomenon that happens is when Becca tells her boyfriend that she has had sex with 15 guys, he is going to hear that as if she banged 15 guys that afternoon she told him, because it's like new information to him. But Becca is like, well, yeah, but like the first 5 or 3 years ago, I don't even think about those people. I don't even have memories of it, And I think there's something that happens there with men where you hear a story about your girlfriend or someone you're dating from years ago. There's a whole movie about, you ever see Chasing Amy?
No.
Amazing movie, right? You've seen Chasing
Kevin
Amy?
Smith directed,
and basically, not to spoil it, but Ben Affleck meets a girl he's absolutely head over heels over, and it's like the dream girl of all dream girls, and then he finds out some information about her that happened when she was in high school, and he like flips out, breaks up with her, and basically she, I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen Chasing Amy, but it has nothing to do, her whole argument in the movie is like, that has nothing to do with who I am now. And I think men have a hard time understanding that.
Yeah, totally. Well, now we agree, Kevin.
Okay.
Wow.
One in 1,000 times.
Wow.
So Becca, are you gonna tell him, or what do you think?
I mean, I guess if he cares, then we shouldn't be together. So I got to see if he's a good enough guy or not.
I think you should do it. I'm not even making a joke. I think she should do it at a UCLA football game, and I'll tell you why. If you ever want to fire somebody you're working with, or you need to do something dramatic, you do it in public so they can't cause a scene. So if you do it at a UCLA football game and there's people around you in the stands, like he kind of has to be kind of cool about it, or you do it at the tailgate, whatever. You know what I mean? Just have witnesses around, stuff like that. I think
You just like sports. You just want people to go to sports.
Yeah, well, I also, as a little add-on, like preferably invite me to the game so I can witness this debacle go down and this negative reaction.
Yes.
It's like, babe, can I have a hot dog, and then also my body count is 15.
Yeah. No, and make sure you're holding both hot dogs, like sort of near your mouth, and go, oh yeah.
Yeah,
like
really,
15.
really rub it in.
Yeah. Order 15 hot dogs and then tell him.
Yeah, don't take that advice.
And just stare at one of them and go, God, it reminds me of Ryan. All right, well, Becca, best of luck. And again, if he takes it, in all seriousness, all jokes aside, if he takes it poorly, he's not the guy for you. I know that's hard to understand when you're 20 years old and you're in college, you think you're going to be with this guy, or you think there's a future with this guy. Odds are, even aside from this, there's probably not a future with that guy. And so if he takes it wrong, just, F him.
Yeah.
Basically.
Okay.
I'll
find number 16.
Yeah, there we go. Lucky number 16.
Ooh, maybe it's Kevan Kenney.
Hey, easy.
At a football
She's
game.
20. All right. We'll be back with more Loveline.
Ask me about Loveline, the craziest question.
What's the craziest question you've ever gotten on Loveline?
Loveline with Kevan Kenney and Dr. Tara. We'll be right back.
Loveline.
Call Loveline.
833.
LOVE 191.
Loveline on KROQ.
It is Loveline. We are back on the world famous KROQ. Kevan Kenney, Dr. Tara, producer Muggs, who's eating.
He's so good.
Really eating?
I haven't eaten anything all day.
Really?
All day.
All day?
Mm-hmm.
I find that hard to believe. Okay. Well, don't say what you're eating.
Okay.
But that's what Muggs is doing. And now we have a caller, which I will take since that guy's got burrito all over his face and his fingers, and don't touch the board, Muggs. Okay, so this is a female caller named Stacy who, it says here, the question is, how do I go about asking my male partner to stop using a condom? I'm on birth control, but don't want him to think less of me for asking, / I'm worried he might see me in a negative light for asking. All right, well, this is kind of an interesting conundrum. Stacy, are you there?
Yes, I am.
So I kind of laid it out, at least the notes that Muggs took before he began eating, and that's kind of the lay of the land that I got. But you tell me what's going on. Bring me up to speed.
So the thing is, with my partner, he and I, we're really good with communication, and we're good with everything. I just feel a little vulnerable asking him about this issue, just because I don't want to upset him and tell him that, like, I want to do other things, maybe pertaining to, like, I want to have safe sex, but I feel like we're safe enough and we know each other well. It's just hard for me to get around asking him,
Well, Dr. Tara, does sex for a woman feel very different if your partner's wearing a condom versus not wearing a condom?
A little different, not very.
All right. So then, Stacy, is that how you feel? Do you feel it feels like, what's motivating you to not wear a condom anymore?
I just feel like we don't need it, and I want him to have more pleasure when we have sex, because I've heard that it gives them more pleasure, but he says that he doesn't think so. But I just would like it for me. I feel like I'm very sensitive to latex and everything like that, so I would just like to, not have to use it all the time that we do it,
Sensitive, like you have like an allergic reaction to it?
Or irritation?
Not necessarily, but more like I just don't like having to keep using lube on and on every time we're, going at it.
Do condoms require you to use more lube?
Condoms come with lube. Like, condoms are lubed up. When you open the package, it's usually kind of slippery.
Is that like how the chargers are bolted up? Lube up, hashtag lube up.
I think this makes a lot of sense. Like, when someone is such a generous lover, they just want their partner to feel really good, right? And tell me, as a man, I know this from research, but tell me from your personal experience, Kevin, like, it feels a lot better without a condom for you. True or false?
probably true, but you know what's funny? The main difference in my recollection of wearing a condom versus not wearing a condom is it almost feels like you're not having sex with them with a condom on.
Really?
Does that make sense? Like, it's not intimate. It's not like things are happening. And I'm not advocating for unprotected sex, but that's
Right.
I would say that before I would say it's like feels better. But of course, it probably does feel better if I think about it.
Yeah. There is that emotional component. Like, research found that people decide to start having unprotected sex when they want that extra emotional connection and bonding.
Okay.
No, even like without the baby desire, like people that do not want to get pregnant. That's why, I mean, Stacy is on birth control. Like, they don't want to get pregnant. But at the same time, it makes you feel closer. And that's what research found too, is people reported feeling closer when they don't wear a condom.
Well, Stacy, it seems like, though, there's something maybe underlying here as far as issues go, because from what I'm gathering, and correct me if I'm wrong, your boyfriend is not the one pushing for removing condoms from the equation. You are, because you want him to feel more pleasure. Now, is there anything that has happened with you guys intimately that would make you think he wasn't experiencing enough pleasure?
I think it's just because I am more of a person who I like to lay back and I like to let him do all the work. But at the same time, I'm wondering if that is not maybe like him having to reach for lube or like taking care of me a lot. Like, I feel like I want him to be at ease and just like not worry about anything. Like, if the condom gets like scrunched up and like, you know, like those little like nervous accidents or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but okay, so I think more issues are emerging here. So you said there that you like to just lay on your back and let him do all the work?
Yes.
So, I mean, do you think maybe you're just uninspiring in bed?
Whoa.
Maybe I just love to be a pillow princess sometimes.
So, okay, so that's like the first thing, right? So maybe she's just a little underwhelming in bed. She just likes to sort of lay there, right? Which I think some women think that's what men want. I think that's like the worst ever.
I don't think any woman thinks that's what men want.
Well, then why is she doing it?
Well, Stacy, why are you just laying there?
I think it's just because I'm tired after a long day of work, and I think I just want to just relax, you know?
Have you ever had sexual partners before this boyfriend of yours?
Yes, I've had.
And have you just laid there with all of them, or can you think of a time where you kind of got into it?
I mean, it's not like every time I just lay down and do nothing, but like most of the times after a long day of work, like I just would like to be appreciated, but I feel like it would be like maybe more fun if we just didn't use a condom and have the precautions of like, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. I feel like I'm on birth control and like, you know, it's fine.
I just think he's not that into her because you know what else she mentioned is that the condom's scrunched up. And I feel like the only time that happens is if the male partner, loses an erection to some extent. So I think he's bored out of his mind with this woman. Oh. And I think that he's like losing his excitement during the act and he's having to, and all this lube talk I don't think is normal. I mean, you
lube
need that
is completely normal.
It is, but I'm saying to the extent that Stacy is mentioning this, I mean, don't you think that the woman should be turned on enough by her partner that you don't maybe need that much lube?
Not all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, scientifically speaking, there is a situation called non-concordance. Have you heard of that?
Non-concordance? No.
Has that ever occurred to you?
Non-concordance? Okay, how does this relate to using lube?
It happens when your desire and your arousal are not in sync, which happens all the time. Because arousal is your body responding, right? And desire is your brain is like, oh, I'm horny.
Right.
So sometimes you can be mentally horny, like, oh yeah, I'm ready to have sex, but your body is not there yet, and therefore is not producing lubrication.
Been there.
Yeah,
but don't
it's
you think
a very common situation. So if anyone listening has experienced this, know that you're normal and you're fine.
That's a great message to give out. I want to be very clear on that. But when you have a situation where a woman is saying that all she does is lay there, and then she's like tired from work. So she's thinking about work. She's not even thinking about this guy, right? And then you think about the fact that the condom is scrunching up and that they have to use lube. Don't you think you have enough evidence here to deduce that the issue is probably that the guy is not that into this?
Okay, I might recommend one. having a talk about removing the condom out of the equation could spicing things up and make it more fun and connecting. But another one I would be starting a blowjob jar.
A blowjob jar? Okay, how's that work?
Where you and your partner like put in the different activities that you want to do. So like Stacy, you can be putting in little pieces of paper of activities you want to do, and then every time he can put in like a in the small piece of paper, and then you can pull out the activity.
So wait, so a man and a woman, or any couple, I should
Right.
say. I shouldn't say man and woman, but any couple, they each put in like what they want to do.
Right.
Okay. But don't you think the woman's just going to be like, I want to go to the park, I want to run errands,
That's
I want
fine,
and
but
then the
then
guy's just going to be like,
all
so the idea is that if the guy like goes to see Wicked with his girlfriend, right?
Which is a great movie.
She needs to give him.
No, it's not a requirement. It's two people engaging in shared experiences with enthusiasm.
I think this one is still more complicated, Doctor. I really do.
What do you think the problem is
I
underlying
don't think they're compatible. There's a lot of lube talk, there's a lot of condom talk. I don't know.
Lube is completely fine.
Have you always worn a condom with past partners, Stacy?
Yes, I have, but I would have the occasional, like, they all never really, like, wanted to do it just because of the safety aspect. And, like, nobody wants to have a baby when they're not in the mood for a baby,
That's so interesting because my perception is like every dude wants to do that. I don't want to do that.
Raw?
Yeah, I feel like most dudes are just out there raw
Do you wear a
dogging
condom
dude.
all the time?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A safe boy.
Well, it's just to me, it's like I just have "Gold Digger" by Kanye West in my mind. That second verse where he's talking about 18. He's got your ass for 18 years. That song came out when I was like 14, dude, and I just think that taught me that like
you don't want to
it's
pay
never
child support.
worked.
Yeah,
dude,
let's not reference Kanye on this show.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe that's a bad. Hey, no,
That
Jamie
guy
Foxx
sucks.
is on that song, dude. It's a Jamie Foxx song.
Well, you can mention him.
Hey, man. I love Any Given Sunday. All right, well, Stacy, I think, Doctor, any closing thoughts for Stacy?
I would say try to give pleasure whenever you can and be a more active participant of your sexual encounters so that sex doesn't get boring and he doesn't get bored from connecting with you. And another one that I would say is try the no condom method and see how that feels. Maybe it feels better for you and maybe you'll love having sex with him more.
But when is she gonna know to like stop with this issue? Like are there any tried and true practices in a healthy communicative sexual relationship where you go, okay, like I've asked a couple times, they're not into it, I should drop it?
I think if you consistently feel sexually dissatisfied with your partner, like something is wrong and you are perhaps not sexually compatible, and that is a much bigger conversation.
Word up, Doc. All right, Stacy, I wish you the best of luck, and I thank you for calling in Loveline.
Thank you.
You really think that that's not an issue of the guy not being into her? Now that she's not here. Be honest, Dr. Tara.
It could be, but it could also be like there's so many potential different reasons. Like, for example, one of them could be he feels discouraged by her not being an active participant. A lot of guys that have girlfriends that are not like super into them get super insecure and unconfident in
Well, shouldn't they though? If your girlfriend's not into you? I mean, that's like a reason to be like, insecure.
Sometimes it's not about them. Sometimes it's about their own life.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
But why do you think she wants to just lose the condom so bad? Because she said she's never done this with any other
closer
boyfriend.
to him.
But she didn't say that. You're saying that.
Right, but maybe she doesn't know. Lots of people don't know why they want to do certain things they want to do. Like, you're eating a burrito. Why are you eating it?
So good.
All right, so you don't think that that's like there's an issue there, Dr. Tara?
I don't think yet. I don't think it's an issue yet.
Okay. Well, when we come back on Loveline, we are going to get into the holiday spirit with a little holiday role-playing. Role-playing is a way, of course, Dr. Tara, you can spice up your love life in the bedroom. Have you ever role-played?
Ooh, many times.
Really? What's your favorite role to play in the bedroom?
I like being a cat.
A cat? Oh, so you'll actually like cross species.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And then will your partner be a like a feline as well, or will he be a different? Okay.
My partner would be my owner.
Oh, really?
Yes.
And then how does that story end? Does he make love with
Yes.
his pet? All right. Hey, we're going to get into that as the LAPD approach the station. And we'll be back with more Loveline on KROQ.
Loveline will be right back.
Loveline on KROQ.
No one else can find the trouble so quickly or repair it so economically.
Loveline's coming right back. Hang on.
KROQ.
Now back to Loveline on KROQ.
No wires needed, yet voices travel back and forth.
Call or text 833-LOVE-191.
Back on Loveline. Happy holidays. It is Kevan Kenney, episode 2. Dr. Tara here, producer Muggsy. And if you were listening last week, we were having a spirited conversation about holiday shopping when it comes to sex toys and your special somebody, how to shop, what to shop, and depending on who the type of person you're dating is. And if you missed that, you can, of course, go back on the podcast, episode 1. Check that out. There is still time, of course, to holiday shop, just a couple more days here. We were talking in that chat about role-playing. Mm-hmm. And I asked you two, Muggs, Dr. Tara, would you be up for sort of demonstrating a holiday role-playing thing, you know? Because I think role-playing is a really fun way to spice up the bedroom, where maybe your eyes are starting to stray a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. You've been in a relationship for a long time. Why not assume different identities and have a exhilarating sort of, would you call it a disassociative experience, right?
Yeah. I always tell my clients, like, if you start feeling like you want to have sex with other people rather than your spouse or your partner, start role-playing, because that's other people.
Definitely. What is the importance of role-playing from sort of a sexual health standpoint, doctor?
Bringing novelty and new shared experience to the relationship. It's so important to have new shared experiences that you kind of revamp regularly, because imagine what else you do with your partner. You have dinner, you watch TV, you go to bed, you make morning coffee, you maybe
fight,
go to the
you
gym
argue,
together.
you call each other an idiot, you throw things.
Great to know you're in a healthy relationship, but basically, you know, like, we have such robotic shared experiences, but relationships need new, novel shared experiences.
And role-playing, I just want to say, doesn't have to be a big undertaking.
No.
You can start with a wig. Start with a wig. Start with a wig.
You don't even need props.
Yeah.
You can start with no props.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Or a disguise.
Yeah.
Your first time role-playing, what was the role dynamic, if you don't mind me asking?
The very first time that I did it was very simple. It was like a cop, and, like, you know, I was, like, pulled over. I did something bad. He said, like, if I give him a blowjob, he'll let me go. And I'm like, okay, Mr. Officer.
And what did that guy do for a living?
He's a professor.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Interesting. Now, isn't it interesting how like sort of fragile these dynamics are? Because her getting pulled over and you know, offering oral sex to a police officer through someone's lens is erotic, right? But if she was the police officer, it becomes comedic, right?
Yeah.
Like Dr. Tara.
You go down on me.
Yeah, you better go down on me if you want to pay this ticket. Yeah, me or else I'm going to write you up for not having a back license plate, you know? And then have you ever role-played, Muggs?
Not, like, very detailed. Spurts of it, I guess.
Okay.
Like, who's your daddy?
Yeah, or like...
That's not role-playing. You're going to consider that role-playing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then, like,
Daddy.
every
A father, you're role-playing.
basic guy. Yeah, dude. Oh, my. The only times I experienced, like, true impotency is when there's daddy talk. And I'm like,
really?
I don't want to think about your dad. I'm not your dad.
Oh my gosh, I have a great story about that. One time in the bedroom, a girl was about to call me daddy.
Okay.
She's like, yes. She realized like I'm a dad. And I think she kind of like realized, like, you know.
This is the weirdest story.
Hold on.
It's the weirdest
so
story.
Halfway through, she's like, yes, dad, sir. But she stopped herself from saying daddy and said sir.
Sir is good.
Well, how do you know it has anything to do with the fact that you're a father? She told you that?
You
felt that? That is a specific thing to feel, bro.
No.
What do you mean? You're on top of this girl. You're thrusting away, and you hear her almost say daddy,
yes, Dad,
and you assume
sir.
she doesn't because she realizes you're a father.
Yeah.
I think that's a leap of faith, bro.
It's
why'd
a
she
theory.
Why?
Would you feel weird calling a guy daddy?
No, I love it.
You like it?
Yeah.
I hate it.
I think it's so sexy.
Why?
Yeah.
It really
like,
makes
put that
me like
in my
curl
mouth,
up.
daddy.
and I just hate it. But what is that for you? What's something, Dr. Tara, you hate? Like, it just like...
Oh my God. Something that's super icky for me is like a really, really submissive man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you come across those?
Because I can't do that. I have like in college, like I've slept with someone that like wanted me to like become the dom. Like, I can dominate from time to time, but like he always wants me to dominate, and then it comes to the point where I feel like I'm the caretaker. Like I'm always setting up the scene, always like leading the scene, and you know it's tiring.
Is it insulting to say I find the premise of you as like a dom funny?
I think it's hot.
Do you think it's hot?
Why is it funny?
I don't know. I
It's
just think it's funny. I just think it's funny, man. Like
at all.
Dr. Charlie telling people what to do.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I'd be like, scram. You know what I mean? You can't tell me what to
Get
do.
on your knees and me out.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess
That's awesome.
that's.
See, I have a good audience here.
I love Muggs, man. I love this guy.
He's
So
a good role play partner.
Yeah.
What are some like legit ways that you can sort of dip your toe into role playing this holiday season if you've never done it?
I think it's very important to first have a conversation about like the green, yellow, and red light, because some people will role play and then they will say certain things or do certain thing, and the other person is extremely
Okay, but let's back up.
uncomfortable.
Let's back up. Okay, so we're talking about people who have never role played, and now you're introducing this new concept called green, yellow, blue, red. Simon Says. What are these? What does this mean?
Red light is like things that you should never do in a role play that the other person would dislike or hate. And then yellow is like it's a maybe, you can try to start it and see how I feel and what feedback I give. And then green is like you can always say and do these things.
What happened to like safe words?
You can have that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
This seems like a...
Do you have one?
Well, don't they just change, or do you keep one? Do you have like
I always keep just one. Mine's elephant.
Really? When you say elephant?
Because I would never say it in a sexual way.
Wouldn't
So,
that be
like, when
terrible,
I say
though?
it, you it's a stop.
If we were at a sex party and I turned around and go, hey, what Tame Impala song should I play? And then she was yelling out her safe word, elephant. And I was like, great pick. And then it didn't, you know? That'd be terrible. So,
But yes, you have to have a conversation of like those lights in order to make sure that your role play goes smoothly.
how many times have you, it's almost like watching the NFL and the coach gets like 2 challenge flags to throw per game, the red challenge flag. How many times do you think you've said the word elephant in a sexual setting?
In life?
Yeah.
Only a handful.
Really?
Like, I would say less than 5 times. Yeah.
Is there one that comes to mind you wouldn't mind sharing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what happened?
This has something to do with nipple clamps. So this was when I was being a sub, and in a very serious, like master and slave way. Like I was a slave, and
I can't deny it.
And we did it not just the sexual setting that day. We did it the whole day. We did it when we went to the coffee shop. We did it when we went to a grocery store. Like I was a slave for the day.
this guy, absolutely, just like con Tara into like working for him for free, dude.
No, we went together.
This is so funny.
No.
She's like, it wasn't just a bedroom. Like I helped him start this company.
Now go to aisle 6 and get me that frozen pizza.
No. We
And
went
when
to
you're
the
done,
grocery
get me
store.
some cumin from
We
the
went
spice
to the
section.
grocery store together, okay? But he would be like, you know, if we're like in aisle 12, he would be like, okay, like get on your knees and get that from the bottom shelf.
Have you ever crawled on your knees in a Ralph's and grabbed some cumin because a man told you to?
No.
No? Okay.
I grabbed something else. But that was
just trying to shop. You're like, dude, what the hell's going on here, dude? Like, you know, like in New York, like you'd see people fighting on the subway, and you just go, I don't know what's going on. It's none of my business. In LA, the equivalent is like Tara just crawling in Gelson's.
No, I would be in there. Hey, you know what? While you're down there, could you get the paprika?
You'd be getting like turned on, dude. You'd be
I will not get the paprika.
He'd be pretending to
That's
look
my
for
hard line. Elephant.
Dude, that'd be the best. Just her on her hands and knees just yelling elephant, dude. What the hell's going on here, man?
But yes, I love role play.
So that's one way to role play.
Yeah.
Another way to role play is kind of like lean into holidays, right?
Yes.
I think that's kind of fun, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And so we got a holiday coming up here. Of course, happy holidays to everybody, no matter what you're celebrating. But I thought maybe Christmas has some identifiable characters associated with it, right? Why don't you, Muggs, play the role of Santa Claus?
Okay.
Okay? And then Dr. Tara can play a mom of 3 in Hermosa Beach.
There you go.
And you guys remember, this is important. No laughing.
Okay.
Okay, because we have a lot of listeners right now that are going to learn how to role play through this. Okay?
Yeah.
So don't laugh about it.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
I'm not laughing.
Just serious, bro.
Serious.
Okay, so the scenario is you're Santa Claus. You have already delivered the presents for Dr. Tara and her 3 children, right? She's a single mom. Her husband got eaten by a shark.
Okay.
It's been tough. You're back in the sleigh.
On the cell phone?
You're almost in Mexico.
On my cell phone?
What?
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 Okay.
Shut up.
Okay.
This guy's trying to get a cell phone out of this or something. No, and you can't use mine. You're almost on your way to Mexico.
Okay.
And you realize, I forgot my house keys for the cottage back in the North Pole, and I left them at that lady's house in Hermosa Beach, whose husband
Passed away.
was eaten by a shark, and you got to go back now. You go back in the house, and Tara, you wake up because you hear something downstairs.
I wonder where I left my car keys. Oh. Could they be here? Oh, they could be here. No. Did I leave them under the kitchen sink? Nope, not there. Are they under the milk and cookies? Nope, not there. Oh, let me walk upstairs. Oh, it's Santa. Are you awake still?
Oh, hi, Santa.
Well, hello.
I was just falling asleep.
Sorry to interrupt. First of all, did your kids get the presents that I left?
They love them.
Yeah.
Thank you. They're missing a father figure.
Yeah. I couldn't find the special limited edition Teenage Mutant Turtle for little Jimmy, but, I might have a little special edition turtle in my pants.
Oh. I like turtles.
Oh, you like turtles, do you? Well, it's probably better that you like turtles than sharks, because I heard what happened to your husband, and I'm very sorry that he's not around anymore. I heard about that attack.
Yeah. I'm still mourning, and when I'm mourning, I feel really horny.
It's really a shame what happened to your husband. Are you okay? I mean, how has it been tough getting over that very traumatic event?
It's been really hard, but I've been missing things that are hard in my life.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Interesting. So what was he? Was he just swimming out there?
Actually, no. He was on his paddleboard. Actually, he was on his paddleboard, and there was a shark. But that's okay though, because I've been really just getting used to being alone by myself right now. Like I am alone right now, and the kids are asleep, so I have this bedroom all by myself.
Was it a big shark?
I was not there, but I'm gonna guess that it's not as big as your shark.
Did he like that paddleboard? Because I believe I got him that for Christmas one year.
He did, yeah. He liked the paddleboard. He used that paddle on me a couple times, and I think the paddle's still around if someone wants to use it on me.
I just can't help but to feel partially responsible for that, since I was the one to deliver that paddleboard Christmas in 2005.
If you feel responsible, you should do something for me right now to make up for it.
Oh, yeah? Well, you want me to go out there and beat that shark's ass? Because I could do it.
What if you beat this ass?
Oh, what's that gonna solve? Well, I thought our issue was with that fucking shark. Let me at him! Let me at him! I'm gonna kick his ass! Let me at him!
Get the out of my house.
Bravo, guys. That was great.
Santa was lame.
You went a little heavy on the sharks.
Santa had zero awareness of what was happening.
But you were Santa. That's what's weird. You're blaming
And the
Santa.
mom and the Hermosa mom did not get to orgasm again.
Yeah. I don't think anyone won there. Not even the listener.
No.
Yeah. All right. We'll think this through. More Loveline next.
More Loveline coming up with Kevan Kenney and Dr. Tara.
Call or text 833-LOVE-191.
KROQ.
And now back to Loveline.
Loveline with Kevan Kenney and Dr. Tara.
Loveline on KROQ.
All right, we are back on Loveline. It is Kevan Kenney, Dr. Tara, producer Muggs in the house, and this is there's a lot of layers to this call that we've just gotten here at Loveline. Muggs, you want to give out that phone number again?
1-833-LOVE-191. 991.
I'm so proud of him. It took him like 40 years, but he learned
memorized
numbers.
this.
It's crazy. Anyways, so this caller, this is Jade on the phone, and Jade, you got to help me a little bit here, Dr. Tara, because a lot of these situations I'm not totally familiar with, and I want an authority speaking on it, of course. So Jade is in a polyamorous relationship,
Right.
married to a man,
Right.
and has 2 girlfriends, which is, I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's like
Oh, yeah.
kind of rolling in it a little bit.
I mean, it's non-traditional, but hey, if it's consensual and everyone's happy, go for it.
I think somebody in this situation, before we even welcome this caller on, this is the type of person that needs to negotiate world peace. Because
Yes.
for this person to be able to simultaneously keep a man happy in a marriage and then to keep 2 girlfriends happy at the same time,
I know, right?
I could never.
These dudes should be listening.
I'm telling you, take notes, fellas. Anyways, so the situation is Jade is in this polyamorous relationship, married to a man, has 2 girlfriends, and her husband, she suspects, I believe, is cheating. I don't know if we've confirmed he's cheating,
okay.
but trust has been broken. And what's really interesting about this is people might assume in a polyamorous relationship there's no such thing as cheating.
Right.
But as Dr. Tara will surely tell us, and I'm sure Jade will too, you can absolutely cheat still in a poly relationship.
100%. Yeah.
So Jade, are you on the line?
Hi, I'm here. How are you guys?
I'm great. How are you, Dr. Tara?
Orgasmic.
Oh, there you go. Getting the catchphrases in there. So Jade, explain the situation better than I ever could, if you don't mind.
Sure, absolutely. I've been with my male husband for 11 years. We've been open/poly the whole entire time. I have 2 female girlfriends who I've known and been with longer than my husband, and that's the context of our specific situation. However, my issue is I know at this point, I've seen my husband on a dating profile dating website that I wasn't aware that he was on. So that kind of feels like cheating because there was a lack of transparency, and I'm kind of struggling to figure out what to do here. We've had good communication thus far, and now it just feels like a breach of trust.
Was the dating site that he was on? You don't have to name it, but was it sort of a mainstream dating website, or was it a dating website sort of surrounding like a kink or a fetish?
Or a dating website for cheaters, because there's that.
Yeah, there is.
Thankfully, it wasn't 2 first names, Ashley Madison. It's a pretty mainstream one, though.
Okay.
So I feel like that would have been easy to reveal to me, but for whatever reason, he hasn't. And I'm very confused and don't know what to do.
Now, Dr. Tara, what is your experience? Because you have some experience with polyamory. Are you polyamorous?
I'm not polyamorous. I'm monogamish.
You're monogamish. Now, is that something that you invented?
No, Dan Savage, the columnist, invented this since 2011.
What are the main, just to teach the listener, what is the main difference between polyamory and monogamish?
Okay. Polyamory is when people are dating multiple people. They have like romantic relationships with multiple people, sharing emotional commitment with multiple people, versus monogamish is when I'm like 99% monogamous with my husband, but there's that 1% that can come into play and into negotiation and communication if we do go to things like sex parties, or if we are considering things like threesomes and stuff like that, right? If we go by the scientific definition of monogamy means one sexual partner, just one. So you're not even allowed to have like a threesome. But monogamish, you can, because you're monogamous-ish. So that's why for me, I don't have the capacity to be polyamorous, and I have never had the desire to have multiple love of my lives. But for me, definitely want to involve that recreational sex part into our relationship.
So the main difference I'm hearing is that if you're in polyamory, you can have fun all the time, and if you're monogamish, you can only have fun some of the time.
No, it means she's loving more than one person.
Right. You got a lot of love to give, it sounds like, Jade.
I really do. I feel like everybody does. I'm a little bit biased, obviously. I have an abundance of love. I have a lot of love to give.
See, I don't think I have that much love to give. I really don't. I got a lot of self-love. Big fan of myself. But I think that one girl is exhausting to me. I couldn't even imagine juggling 2, although I kind of could.
One girl is exhausting. Your girlfriend listening to this is crying right now.
Yeah, maybe I'm just dating exhausting women. I don't know. But I do. No, I really, in all seriousness, I marvel at the fact that people can balance these many partners. I'm not even making a joke when I say that. I think it's really remarkable. I mean, Muggs, do you think you could do it?
What?
Poly.
Multiple. Two. You ever see Office Space?
Yeah, of course.
2 chicks at the same time.
No, I couldn't. I get all jelly.
Would you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Even if you were the only guy? Like, what if you were Jade's husband? And then I just think isn't that what Charlie Sheen was trying to pull off unsuccessfully?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because
Jade's husband figured it out.
Polyamorous, that stuff never works. It's just, I've heard.
What have you tried?
It totally works.
This guy doesn't even know what he's talking. I think he just woke up, honestly.
Yeah, he just woke up.
I'm actually kind of hungry right now.
There's a lot of polyamorous people in the world that have very beautiful, loving, communicative relationships, much better than some of these monogamous people going behind their partners' backs, cheating on them consistently with 50% infidelity rate. I mean, you can't lie that monogamy has an issue.
Well, yeah, definitely.
Issues.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Jade, if you don't mind me asking you this, so when you guys are intimate, right, is it everybody at the same time, or is it like one by one?
A few times it's been everybody at the same time. My husband's been very lucky to benefit that way, but I prefer to have my extracurricular activities be solo. But no, I don't hate the fact that they've been all together a handful of times. Those been very fun, beautiful things.
Do you ever
Lots of love in the room.
Do you ever record your escapades for your husband?
If I had that kind of foresight, I would absolutely do that. But no, I have not done that.
Okay. Well, no, because what I'm kind of gathering here is it sounds like this guy feels left out, right? Because he probably was like, this is a great deal. Like, wow, like I get 3 girlfriends or I get 2 girlfriends and a wife. Well, actually, that's not how it works, is it?
No.
They're not his girlfriends.
No, it's not.
Wow.
They're her girlfriend.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah,
he just has a
different
wife.
kind of relationship maintenance.
Interesting.
Yeah. He has a wife that he can then have threesome or foursome with sometimes.
Well, can this guy have Jade, excuse me, your husband, can he have girlfriends?
Absolutely. I just we have different skills when it comes to relationship maintenance. I've been able to juggle all the moving parts of my life fantastically, and him not so much. It would seem. So we're kind of struggling in that department right now.
Jade is so much more evolved than me. I mean, she's using these terms like different relationship skill maintenance or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I just know if I'm sick of a chick or not. You know
Oh
what I mean?
my God,
I don't even know
Kevin.
why it's not working.
Kevin, if you've ever taken my class, you'll know all the terms.
I should
take
re-enroll.
the class. Yeah.
It's like Rodney Dangerfield movie back in the day, Back to School.
I never get no respect.
But it sounds like maybe something is going on because he's on the dating app.
Yeah, but he's clearly you're being so ambiguous here, Dr. Tar. This guy clearly feels left out. He clearly feels like this is not a good deal, and so he wants to, he's seeing Jade have all this fun, and I think as a guy, as open-minded as you can be, at the end of the day, you're still a dude, right? At the end of the day, you're still going to come back to some base level of like dumb dudism, right?
Dudism.
Dumb dudism, right? That sounds like a doo-wop song. You want to harmonize here for a second? Dumb da dudism. Yeah, there you go. Barbershop Quartet on KROQ. So, I mean, obviously she's got to confront this guy.
Yeah.
So, Dr. Tar, what she should do?
Yeah. What you should do, you should engage in what is called macro sexual communication. And that is where you engage in a conversation, a check-in conversation with your partner about your sex life, how he's feeling, what he's up to, what are his desires, what can you do to make him feel included and loved and desired. And hopefully from this conversation, you can deduce to what the actual problem is and what the solutions can be.
Okay, that's a term I'm not familiar with. Macro sexual communication. I will have to look more into that later because, I thought I was a good communicator, but there's still room to grow. I'm not perfect, right? So I appreciate that feedback.
Jade, don't beat yourself up though. Dr. Tar loves making stuff up, and she just makes up these big terms. You can just go to the guy. This is my sort of man on the street advice. Go to him and go, hey prick.
The dudism.
Yeah, say, hey prick. What are you doing on this site? What do you think you're gonna get one over on me? You think you're smarter than me, bro?
Don't call him
I got 2
prick or
girlfriends.
bro.
Who's smarter than me? I got 2 girlfriends. That's how I would handle it.
Well, engage in macro sexual communication and completely ignore Kevin.
Well, hey, Jade, I gotta. You know what was really interesting about something you said there was at the top of the phone call, you were saying how you actually knew your girlfriends longer than you knew your husband. So why marry your husband, not one of the girlfriends?
Good question. As much as I absolutely love these women and these women do love me, we all kind of within our own awareness realize while we do love each other and that's never going to go away, we all want to marry a man. So we all have that flaw in common.
That's so convenient.
I don't know any dude that would call that a flaw, man. That sounds like, if you ever put together a dating profile, ladies, if you're listening, put that at the top.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm looking for a husband. I also have 2 other girlfriends.
Yeah. I have 2 girlfriends, and I don't want to get married to a guy. I'm like, that is very cool. In all seriousness, though, I know we like to make jokes here on Loveline. Jade, what do you think is the key, though, to all of that balance? I think a lot of people would be fascinated by the fact that you're pulling this off so successfully.
Ooh, okay. Emotional maturity, transparency, and communication. If you don't have these things, and I didn't at the beginning, you are going to hurt yourself. You're going to hurt people. It's nobody I've spoken with who is also polyamorous does not have a rocky beginning to their story and their journey. So just being willing to read the books, take notes where you can, and kind of get feedback on a professional level. If you can find a therapist who is knowledgeable, all of those things help. It's definitely not nothing.
Well, was there a time in your life where you knew you were this way, you were built this way, you were born this way, and you couldn't live out your truth?
Absolutely. My first boyfriend in high school, he actually cheated on me, and I wasn't upset because I was also attracted to the woman as well. It was just the fact that he didn't tell me. He didn't let me know.
I gotta find girls like this. I gotta find girls like this where I can just cheat on them and they go, I could see where you're going with that. She's pretty hot. I'm not even mad. She's pretty hot.
Well, it's so interesting because, at the end of the day, cheating is about secrecy. It's about you not being included. It's about the person that doesn't respect you enough to tell you the truth.
Right.
It's surrounding a secret, right?
And the fact he was doing it on an iPad. This guy's a scumbag. If you're going to cheat, man.
Cheat on your phone.
Yeah, cheat on your phone, man. What are you doing, getting the iPad out?
iPad cheater.
I found out he was on Tinder on our connected TV in the living room. You know you can do that?
No.
Yeah, a buddy of mine's got Tinder on his Apple TV, and I never want to bring it up. I'm like, dude, what's going on with the Tinder? It's it's like ESPN, it's like
Tinder?
Yeah, it's like Roku or whatever, and then Netflix and
Pornhub.
Yeah, and then that would be cool. But no, and then Tinder. So I'm like, what are you swiping on
TV?
Yeah, it's weird, bro. Anyways, Jade, you got to talk to this guy about it. This guy being your husband, you got to.
I know. I'm not looking forward to having the conversation, but I know I do.
Is that because you're non-confrontational, or is that because he doesn't take feedback well?
Well, one thing about polyamory is you have to be comfortable having uncomfortable conversations. So that's fine, but there's nothing I can do here. I can only confront him and see what he has to say and/or is willing to share, and I can't control any of those. So it'll be interesting.
All right. Do you concur, Doctor?
Yes.
All right. Jade, best of luck.
Thank you so much.
If you ever make any of those videos, let us know.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my God, Kevin, perv.
I'm kidding. It's a joke.
This has been Loveline. The opinions expressed on Loveline are not necessarily those of staff, management, sponsors, or the station.
Loveline is produced and engineered by Jonathan Beermug Cantro. Loveline is a presentation of the world-famous KROQ.
You hang up first.
No, you hang up first.
I'm not hanging up till you hang up, so hang up.
Well, I'm not hanging up till you hang up, so you hang up.
Okay, on the count of 3, we'll both hang up. Cool?
Cool.
1, 2, 3.